2,186 miles. That is the length of the Appalachian Trail. The goal of our project is to hike only 25 of those. Harper's Ferry to Snickers Gap. That is a mere 1.14% of the entire trail. The trail goes from Georgia to Maine. It crosses through 14 states. We're hoping to find out if there are any real problems that face the trail, and also have a good time along the way.
So John, how was your experience of the hike different from your expectations?
Well, I expected it to be, pretty simple. Thinking I was gonna be able to handle it well. Towards the end, though, I was definitely like this. I was not prepared.
All right. Differences that from my expectations of the hike were mainly physical aspects of the hike, like how we were feeling throughout the hike. I expected it to be a little easier. I wasn't expecting us to be so fatigued.
There was going to be a lot more scenic views on the trail, which unfortunately there weren't too many. There were one or two. One in particular, there was they were planting new trees, so there wasn't much tree coverage, and it was a nice view of like this valley and the mountains.
I didn't think it was going to be as difficult as it was, because we were always talking about how we just needed to keep a 2.5 mile pace. But during the hike and as we got closer to the end of the hike, it was a lot harder to keep that pace.
So what kind of deterioration did you witness on the trail?
Deterioration. There was a couple like fallen trees and stuff, and but that's natural. For the most part, I felt it was better than I expected, but also take into account it's early in the season, and by the end of the year, it's probably going to be a lot more traversed and patted down.
So evidence of deterioration on the trail that I noticed was the most glaring memory that I have is the way the trail was washed out. We hiked during the day, and when we were hiking during the day, there was this one portion of the trail where it was basically a stream. It was like the lowest lying area. It was kind of like a little gully, I guess, and the trail was through the middle, and through the lowest point. And I guess that's why the rainwater all collected there and eroded out the trail. And also, there was little caches of trash every once in a while that we found. Like when we eat dinner, I remember we saw little stacks of cans behind a tree, and then little bags of trash, like there was little just granola bar containers and stuff. Remember, and later on we saw like a pizza box and a couple apples, a little grocery bag. So there was just little bits of trash, not much in the way of trash, which I was expecting to see a little more, but it is early on in the season, and I think the Appalachian Trail Conservancy has done a pretty good job thus far, keeping that part of the trail pretty well maintained. Well, it is pretty close to the headquarters, so I guess we'd expect that, but they've done a pretty good job.
41 or the 31 maintaining clubs along the trail. We coordinate that out of here, but there are clubs all along the trail that do the maintenance work. And it's all volunteer. So there are over 6,000 volunteers last year that did over 250,000 hours of work out there maintaining the trail. But there are major trail locations that need to be taken into consideration from time to time, and that costs money when you have to do that. So there are some expenses involved in running it. It is part of the National Park Service system. It's delegated to us to do the work on a daily basis.
How would you say the trail is today compared to the past, like 20 years ago? Yeah.
It is used much more often than it was in the past. The first through hiker came through in 1948. This year we expect well over 600 to hike the trail, so you can see the impact that all these people are having on the trail itself.
Is that the whole trail? 600?
The through hikers. Oh. Okay. As far as people being on the trail, it's well over 2 million.
Yeah.
Well over 2 million. We're encouraging people to do what's called a flip-flop hike, which means that they would start they're through hike. Through hike simply means that you do the whole trail in 1 year. But a flip-flop hike would start other than at Springer Mountain or Mount Katahdin. And you would go in one direction and then you'd come back and pick up the other half at a later date. The reason we are encouraging that is because of the tremendous impact on facilities down in Georgia in March, when most of the hikers want to start their hike. The 1st and the 15th are, traditional days for long distance hikers. So, and we have a new registration system where if you register your hike, you can see where you fit into the picture. And you can adjust your start date, even if you're doing a through hike, to slip away from the highest levels of use. The problems are in the campgrounds and in the privies and also along the trail too, with that many people using it. And it's not encouraging to a hiker to get up to the top of Springer Mountain and find 40 tents of various colors all set up in what he expects to be a wilderness kind of thing.
Would you say like trash left by like hikers is like a big problem, or do you think everybody's
They're pretty good. They're pretty good. I think it's an education process that has taken place over years. We don't have any problem with the long distance hikers. They're all well aware. Sometimes with day hikers, we have a little bit of trouble with litter and abuse out there, but not a lot.
Yeah.
So where you guys from?
Baltimore.
Yeah. Baltimore? Oh yeah, so are we.
Really?
So what part of the trail are you guys doing?
We're just doing from Harper's Ferry, however far we get.
Yeah, we kind of just stumbled upon this campsite, and we're like, well, it's starting to get, we're hungry and starting to get a little bit dark, and we can't find a more perfect flat place to stop, so. And that way we got a campfire and everything, so it's kind of cool.
Solid.
Yeah.
So our project is about the deterioration of the Appalachian Trail. So we're just wondering, how would you rate kind of the state of the trail from what you guys have seen?
Like, relative to what? Like,
Relative to,
Like erosion
yeah,
or litter
like
or...
encroachment and erosion and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, like one of the areas, I'm a water resources engineer, so I geek out about that stuff. One of the crossings that had us crossing straight through a channel. So that's not the most ideal situation because you're going to be disrupting the microinvertebrates when you're crossing through
Right.
and everything. So ideally, if there was a structure to cross over the stream instead, that would be ideal. But the vegetation was still pretty decent.
Yeah, we saw a lot of vegetation too.
Yeah, so it's not in a bad state at the moment. But it seems like y'all get a lot of traffic out here in the summer. So
Yeah.
by the end of the summer, it's probably going to be beat down a bit.
yeah, as far as trash, I didn't really see too much until we got here, and it's mostly just, people burn stuff that shouldn't be burned and
Yeah,
leave
stuff
it.
in the campfire.
Yeah.
We'll pack that out. So just take care of that. But yeah, I mean, they did a good job doing switchbacks also coming up, because a lot of times that's where you run into situations with erosion is when people cut the trail too steep, and all the water starts rushing down, and you start to see rilling.
Oh yeah.
Down in the usually like anything more than like 3-to-1 slope, 2-to-1 slope, you'll start to notice that.
And we also noticed like some fallen trees, and they've cut like the section of the tree out, so that's also good.
Yeah, yeah. At least for if you're trying to keep the trail maintained naturally.
Like, it was pretty passable, actually more passable than a lot of the other trails that we've just been on from, nature preserves and stuff, where it's pretty clear, it's clearly marked, so that part's good.
Yeah, and I definitely like that they have a designated camp spot, because that helps prevent folks going elsewhere and camping, and it reduces the amount of impact that you have to a localized spot rather than, scattered throughout the AT. So that's kind of awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for your guys' time.
No
Hope
problem.
you have a good trip.
Dave, what was your favorite part of the hike?
My favorite part of the hike. My favorite part of the hike was actually when we stopped for our big feast, the dehydrated meal feast, because Shugars we didn't have any spoons, so Shugars made spoons out of the empty granola bar boxes that we had and duct tape. So that was interesting. Also, the meals weren't that bad. I had beef stroganoff along with CJ. John had chicken teriyaki, and Shugars had some beef stew. And we settled down for about an hour, relaxed, took our boots off, and just recuperated at the 6 mile mark.
The girl in the pastry shop with the net in her hair is making a cannoli for you to take on your hiking trip in the woods with your bros that you've known since 2nd grade. And you may encounter dragons or ruffians and be called upon to employ your testosterone in a battle for supremacy and access to females glued to the TV. And even if you are victorious, you may receive many cuts, bruises, and scrapes, and you will require band-aids and antiseptic ointments and tender loving kisses on your stab wounds. And when you come home, she will be there waiting for you with a fire in her eyes and a big fat cannoli to shove in your mouth. And that's why I thank God for girls. Holiday to Christie, from Tennessee to LA. Thank God for girls. On your reckoning day, you better bow down and pray. She's so big, she's so strong, she's so energetic in sweaty overalls. Thank God for girls. Thank God for girls. Thank God for girls. I'm so glad I got a girl to think of, even though she isn't mine. I think about her all the day and all the night. It's enough to know that she's alive. She says I give her sweaty palms, she almost had a heart attack. The truth is that I'm just as scared, I don't know how to act. I wish that I could get to know her better, but meeting up in real life will cause illusion to shadow her. I call the name into all the trees, sing a song down on one knee, looking at the underwear page of this year's catalog like when I was 14. I'm levitating like a magnet, turn the wrong way around. I'm like an Indian fakir trying to meditate on a better nails when my pants fall down. Thank God for girls. Holiday to Christie, from Tennessee to LA. Thank God for girls. On your reckoning day, you better bow down and pray. She's so big, she's so strong, she's so energetic in her sweaty overalls. Thank God for girls. Thank God for girls. Thank God for girls. God took a rib from Adam, ground it up in a centrifuge machine, mixed it with cardamom and cloves, microwaved it on the popcorn setting while Adam was like, that really hurts. So pissed at God, and he started lighting mighty forest fire, stealing osprey eggs, messing with the bees who were trying to pollinate the echinacea, until God said, I'm gonna smite you with loneliness and break your heart in two. And Adam wept and wailed, tearing out his hair, falling on his knees, looked to the sky and said, thank God.
We are finishing our hike. We are stepping off the trail. You guys probably can't see anything, but this is the ending, I guess, billboard. The street is right there.
It's kind of dirt, actually. It's more like over there. It's a guardrail.
And we have made it.